functions. A function, like we said, is very similar to an equation, except for they specifically tell you what to plug in for your x value, and for a function, each input has to have exactly one unique output. So your input is your x value, your output is your y. That being said, the simple rule is no x value can be repeated in order for an equation to be a function. So if you're looking at a set of ordered pairs, I have 2, 3, 3, 8, negative 2, 4, and 2, 8. Since the 2 in the first and the last ordered pair are both x values and they have different y values, this would be not a function because the 2 is repeated as an x. For example 2, similar, same thing, set of ordered pairs, only it's written as a table. If I have negative 3, negative 2, 0, 4, this is a function because known x values are repeated. It doesn't matter if any of your y's repeat, it all has to do with your x values. So since none of those x values are repeated, it is a function. When you're given a graph, you determine if it's a function by what we call the vertical line test, or what I like to call the VLT. So, the vertical line test states that at every imaginary vertical line, the graph only touches at one point. So, if this is my coordinate plane, I have this blue line. If I were to draw imaginary vertical lines as often as I want, that graph can only touch in one place at a time. So this would be considered a function because at this point it's only touching once. At this vertical line, it's only touching once. At that vertical line, it's only touching once. Okay? When we're comparing other examples, down here at the bottom, this middle one is not a function because if I were to draw an imaginary line, it's going to touch in two places on that vertical line. So this is not a function. This middle one down here is a function because I can draw imaginary vertical lines all the way from left to right, and it's only going to touch at one spot. So this one would be considered a function. And this far right one would not be considered a function because it's similar to this first one that we looked at. It's a sideways U, so since you have parts of the graph that stack on top of each other, it is not going to be a function because if I draw my vertical line here, it's going to touch in two spaces. If I draw my vertical line over here, it's going to touch at both arrows. So in order for a graph to be a function, it has to pass, again, what we call this vertical line test. Only one place at a time for each vertical line.